Question: what one should understand by mantra, yantra and tantra, and what is their role in our life? Answer: there exists a lot of literature on mantra, yantra and tantra, but still defining their role is very critical, and more critical is their influence on human life. There are different logics to define them, but their in-depth understanding is very complex for a common man, and even for a true spiritual seeker and follower of the divine path. Mantra is basically a divine Naada. It is a divine sound. By the ages of sadhana, austerities or tapa, our ancient sages have perceived these mantras or spiritual sounds directly by intuition from the cosmos and have transmitted to the human being for their welfare. As the name, mantra, suggests, it percolates to mana or heart, that is antar-atma or inner soul, directly from the cosmos by its throbbing or vibrations. Sages could identify particular nada in their heart from the cosmos during meditation, and later could produce in words. If the same words are repeated by the heart or just by vocal recitation, the same energy of nada or sound is produced in the human mind and in his physical system, which exists in the cosmos. In other words, divine spiritual vibrations are produced by recitation of mantra that enriches the human mind. Heart and human system are magnetized and start resonating with divine vibrations. This changes the inner personality of human beings gradually with time. A thief and dacoit can even become or turn into a saint. As we know the story of Valmiki, who could change himself from a dacoit to a renowned saint merely by recitation of Mara, in place of the name of Rama, by years of regular recitation. This shows the inner power of the mantra. Mantras need to be recited with devotion, and the mind of the recite must listen to it deeply and become unison with its vibrations and totally merge into it. There are thousands of mantras, which have been transmitted by the saints to the human beings in a span of hundreds of centuries, after getting merged with the supernal by perceiving the supernal vibrations from the cosmos in the form of divine throbbing. As for each physical problem, there exists a separate treatment and a specified medicine. One single medicine is not adequate or to treat all the physical ailments. Similarly, one single mantra is not useful for all the individuals. Depending on the need and issues related with the different individuals, the specific mantra is needed, which is required to be chanted in a specific way and specific number of times with full mental concentration and listening the same by getting merged in it fully. Then only the spiritual aspirant or devotee gets the mantra siddhi or accomplishment by the grace of the Almighty, and his desires or needs are fulfilled. Merely repeating the mantra without mental concentration does not fetch significant benefit. By chanting with full devotion and purity of mind leads to the vaksiddhi or perfection of speech. That is, it means whatsoever he or devotee speaks may happen to be true. He may achieve mind shuddhi, that is purity of mind, which may lead to overcome the evil effects on the individual or may increase the spiritual energy of the spiritual aspirant. The developed spiritual energy can be used for various purposes besides mergence with the supernal. This can also be used to cure the various diseases or for the improvement and advancement in the specific supernatural sciences. Furthermore, this energy can be used for the advancement in the materialist horizontal plane, gains, achieving social status or position, developing talents, and so on. The most respected and highest mantra in all the religions of the world is Aum. It may be called Amin, Ek Omkar, and so on in different religions, but no mantra is equivalent to this. It creates highest spiritual vibrations in the mind and human consciousness that finally help the spiritual aspirant for mergence with the supernal. Aum mantra can be chanted in different ways, but chanting of Aum where A merges in U and U merges in M with the prolonged sound is the most vibratory way of chanting or repetition of this mantra. This is so powerful that this can vibrate external small lightweight items around the aspirant who chants this mantra with intensity. All the sounds of the world finally merge as Aum. Our breathing pattern also produces the Aum sound. This can be easily felt by just observing the breath with deep concentration. This is the only sound produced by interaction of the air revolution and its movement during chanting, and not rubbing of any organ takes place with another during this process. The final mergence of A to U to M leads to the bindu or point that gets transformed into the light. In other words, any divine mantra Naada finally gets transformed into light, and gradually this light travels into cosmos by years of spiritual austerities. Mantra Naada and divine light basically are the same. Both are mutated into each other when the spiritual aspirant is in deep meditation. Furthermore, Aum Hrim Aum is the highest mantra for the advanced aspirants that lead to merge Aum to Hrim to Aum easily, and gradually mergence of soul with the supernal occurs with the blessing of the Almighty in a much shorter time frame. In spiritual science, Yantra is the other name of the physical body, the human form. In short, mantra affects the yantra. The recitation of mantra creates energy that vibrates in the subtle way by its high-frequency throb affecting our subtlest system of the body. By long practice and repetition of the mantra, it becomes the part of the subtle system, and with time the effect of the mantra on the system becomes so powerful that the subtle system of the body vibrates with its refined power, and various physical ailments of the body gradually vanishes. Modern science has also proved by experiments that by recitation of Hare, Har, Hari, Aum, Shiva, etc. on a regular basis for lifelong do not allow blockage and remove the blockage of arteries by their subtle vibrations. This does not happen in a couple of days, but it happens only when Naada of the mantra becomes a part of the physical, mental and spiritual system. The spiritual energy generated by the mantra recitation overcomes the entire physical and mental ailment and makes the body of the spiritual aspirant full of radiance with the spiritual energy, as if glory is reflected from his words, deeds, thoughts and from his face. In spiritual science, such a spiritual aspirant is called a man of Ojasav, a divine personality, a graceful personality. The tongue of such an aspirant will speak only truth, and whatsoever he speaks will become true. The body or yantra of such an aspirant or sadhaka emits strong spiritual magnetic waves, and just by merely his touch, the Shakti Para or transmission of power takes place to the fellow being. His place of sitting transmits the electromagnetic spiritual energy that affects the aura of the people around him and transmits the spiritual energy in them without their knowledge or awareness. For some people this spiritual effect is long-lasting and for some it is transient. This depends on the evolution and frequency of vibration of an individual yantra or body. When recitation of the mantra affects and influences the yantra or physical body of an individual by its strong vibrations to such an extent that the subtle core of the body vibrates, then the body starts radiating tantras, the spiritual waves by itself. Yantra or body starts radiating the spiritual light that will be clearly reflected from the eyes, body, and face of the spiritual aspirant. Even an ordinary human being can notice such a glorious reflection of the sadhaka or spiritual aspirant just by his ordinary glance or by coming in his contact. This spiritual light easily finds its path from the apex center of the spiritual aspirant and merges with the supernal automatically without creating any awareness of the sadhaka. This is the highest state of the human being, and it is called the state of Jivan Mukta or self-liberation. Thus, sadhaka or aspirant becomes a liberated soul even in this physical form. He comes closer with the supernal being in the human form as per his wish. As he comes closest to Almighty, the Cosmic Mother, all his activities are executed with the closest command of the cosmic force automatically. In short, mantra or nada affects the yantra or physical body that generates and emits tantra, the spiritual waves or vibrations that take care of every physical and mental problem, and thus, he assists other human beings to become perfect in all respects by the powerful effect of the spiritual energy. Tantric is the spiritual yogi of the highest order. He can easily merge with the supernal and can control others by his divine power. Also, he can guide others to follow the divine path and can clear all their mental doubts regarding spiritual matters. He can easily direct the divine energy of the fellow seekers in the right path for the mergence with the supernal. This is the highest guidance that one can render to his fellow beings in this world. The above is only possible and even feasible by the grace of self-realized Guru, Babaji, and by the blessings of Almighty. Thus, one finds that the mantra, yantra and tantra are so closely related that one's life, thoughts, words and deeds are deeply influenced. One can imagine that if mantra alone can affect the sadhaka to such an extent, the real yoga sadhana coupled with mantra along with Guru's blessings can lead to give wonderful effects within no time, and can turn spiritual aspirant, his yantra, the physical body as a tantric temple. This temple then can easily spread or transmit spiritual light to the cosmos anytime, and can receive light from the cosmos as and when needed by the yantra or physical body. Such an advanced sadhaka or spiritual aspirant does not depend on the gross food for survival. His food is spiritual divine cosmic light. His breath is light that gives him all energy for survival and nourishes his body in all respects without any ailment. He lives in light and plays with the light. Spiritual light is his companion, his guide, his wisdom and his knowledge. He needs nothing but spiritual light and always likes to merge in that light and enjoys a blissful state all the time. Such a spiritual aspirant becomes divine light or godlike in the living physical form, and he is the only valuable asset in this universe and cosmos to enlighten others deserving fellow beings. Thus, he becomes an ocean of valuables and sky of divine light. His divine reserve of spiritual light spreads all over, and he becomes a source of infinite divine light. Any follower in the path of spiritual self-realization would like to pay his austerities to such an advanced spiritual aspirant to receive the divine light by his mere touch and blessings. In short, this is the ultimate outcome or resultant and divine fruit of the mantra, yantra, and tantra along with the yoga sadhana that enable sadhaka to get merged into the divine light and transmit the divine light.